I've always been very proud of who I am. I'm Ethiopian Muslim, and I always felt like I had an extra sense of culture behind me, behind myself and my family.
At first, when I came to America, me and my sisters were going to school. It was a little bit difficult because some of the kids weren't used to the way we dressed, and just we didn't speak English at first, so we had to learn English, so we couldn't communicate with others and the teachers.
They correlate the turban with terrorism. They think that the turban is a symbol or a sign of terrorism. So that's a very big misconception.
The fact that I'm not Arab or have to wear a hijab has made me less of a target. But there was a time in middle school where people I thought who were my close friends, when I revealed to them that I was Muslim and also I was born on September 11th, they said just the most awful things, called me terrorist, just and I mean, I guess to them it seemed like it was just okay with me, but that really hurt. For a long period of time, I was afraid to reveal who I was.
It's just the kids making fun of the way I dressed, because I wore the clothes I dressed was different than the way they dressed.
I've gotten questions on the good side, oh, what's that thing on your head? And I just say, it's turban. I've gotten compliments saying, wow, that headscarf looks so nice. I say, oh, thank you. It's a turban, and I got it off of Amazon. On the more darker side of things, I've been asked if I was a terrorist.
I think some teachers were accepting more than others. And I feel like some teachers were more educated on my Muslim religion.
I think it's really important to make sure each student feels valued in the classroom for the uniqueness they bring into this world. And in doing so, I think you also create some resiliency. And the other students pick up on that too, that teachers can make a huge difference in how other students perceive other students just by becoming aware of the different cultures.
And that's just the hardest part. The fact that I can't express my culture and my religious background. And at one point of disillusionment, I felt like I was kind of disappointed to be that, because I was a target here. I felt I was the target here, and I was someone who was just hated by all in this country.
Usually I will go into the human geography class at my high school, and I will talk about my religion there. I also in the 7th grade talked about my religion to my entire class of 7th graders. So it comes on a yearly basis where I talk about it. We get lots of a positive change in the student body. You get less the ignorance factor in there.
Inside my own classroom, I teach criminal justice, and I also think it's important to point out that there's extremism in all aspects of the world and every religion. And we really need to be careful to differentiate extremist behavior from mainstream religions.
At my high school, we were all very close with each other, and we all know each other personally. Many of the kids I've been going to school with I've been going to school with them for over 10 years now, and I've never had problems with them. But outside of school, I faced a lot of discrimination.
So one time I was walking in downtown Denver with my younger cousin, and I was waiting for the train at 16th Street Mall, and an older lady came up to us, and she said to me, you're a terrorist, you're the blame for 9/11, and she was just saying all these disgusting words to me. So the first time I ignored her, but she continued her harsh criticisms. So I told her, don't judge me by what's on my head, but for what's inside my head. She seemed, I don't know, ashamed for the way her face appeared. She didn't say anything else more, and she just walked away. But one thing that disappointed me was there were so many people around us, and there was not one person who spoke up or stand up for us. And I feel like if that was me in that position and somebody else was being harsh to somebody else because of their religion or their race or anything like that, I would have spoken up, because I know how it feels to be in that position.
He says, don't stand next to this guy, he might blow you up. And those kind of experiences. But I always try to take them as a lesson for me and go up to him and tell him, no, I'm not a terrorist. This is my religion, and I do not associate myself with those terrorist groups. And it actually turns into a good positive result when I go up to them and explain to them who I am, where I came from.
I kind of gave like my description of my religion, and I also, you know, told them that we have like 5 daily prayers and everything. And to my surprise, a lot of them wanted to see what that was. Like they wanted to see like how it's performed, and as well as like the significance of each part of it. And in that class, like in that small group, I like ran through like the whole prayer with them, and to explain the significance, and they were just so open to it, and they're kind of fascinated by it, and they had just so much respect for it, and they had so much respect for me, like being open and willing to share like this with them, like a religious practice with them. And with that, it was exciting to me.
Just say we're like a typical family. Like me and my sisters are striving to get a better education so we can be successful.
I'm a pretty normal teenager. I mean, I do pretty teenager things. Today I slept until like 10:50. I have homework to do. I watch Netflix in my free time. I play the cello. I have things I do for fun. It's not, my image and identity isn't necessarily the core of who I am. Like, I have a personality. I'm not just some foreign person walking on the street.
I'm no different from a typical teenager. I might dress differently than them, but I don't know, the way I act or think is pretty much the same as a typical teenager.
As teachers, we can do a better job of creating students who can go out into society and make a difference with how they interact, and getting people to understand their background and culture. And I think just because you only have one student in your school, you still need to get to know them and make sure they feel welcome and accepted.